if advertising feels heavier and more complex as ever before, if you feel a lot busy but also less clear, then this video is exactly for you. It's not because you're doing something wrong, but advertising has quietly become much more complex and difficult than it actually needs to be. I myself, I'm in advertising, especially in Facebook advertising or meta advertising, since 7 years, nearly 8 years now. And in this time frame, I have observed like the whole evolution of Facebook ads. And nowadays, when I open LinkedIn, when I go to YouTube, when I go anywhere where content is shared, it feels like so blown up and much more complex than it needs to be. And I, for myself, I can definitely say that the simpler and the clearer I work, the better the results. And I want to show you this in this video. What has helped me a lot is to clarify what are actually my pillars in the work, and then develop a system that I can work with and that I can rely upon, so that I don't need to jump from left to right, or hear someone post something, okay, I need to sign up, I need to implement it, and so on. I have my system. The system is designed so that it naturally evolves with any changes in the algorithm, but is based on principle and fundamentals from marketing that are proven to work since centuries. So I'm not stressing myself out. I know clearly the 70% that will never change because they are based on human psychology. And the rest of the 30%, they evolve. And this is something I observe and I adapt, but I don't stress myself out about it. And here are my top 3 key insights that I take away in working in a simpler way rather than a complex way. The first one is to actually work with the algorithm, to understand how the platforms work and to understand how the ads are distributed so that I can work with the algorithm. What I do not want and what's not working is to try to control the algorithm and try to dictate what the algorithm has to do. In all honesty, the algorithm is much smarter than I am or any advertiser who's out there. The algorithm has actual data about each user. I only have assumptions, I don't know. The algorithm can do the heavy lifting and the work for me if I know how the algorithm works and can feed it the important data, tools, and assets that are required in order for the algorithm to do its work. So once I started to focus on feeding the algorithm the right data, it actually became much simpler and also much better in actual results. Also, when it comes to, scaling is so hard. Scaling is not easy, but scaling is actually quite simple if the steps and the systems are there. So what I try to do is I try to give direction rather than take control. And this leads to the actual second main insight for me, which is to lead based on the algorithm, then on my own assumptions. Because what oftentimes happens, and I see this over and over and over again, is, we do these kinds of ads because they fit our target audience. And we do this style of product detail page because this is what our audience thinks and does. But under the hood, it is that advertisers or marketers or CMOs, whoever is responsible, what they're actually saying is, I believe that this will work better because this is something that I'm either proud of and I want to publish it, or they say, I like it and therefore also others will like it. And most marketers think they know what their audience likes and therefore what is necessary. But I see this over and over again that this is not the case. And in modern advertising, we are so blessed because we have so many numbers and metrics to actually prove that our hypothesis is correct. So, therefore, one key insight and takeaway that I took for myself, which I'm implementing, is I try to create a big bouquet of styles in any area that is possible to track and that is also reasonable to have as variety. And then I let the numbers decide, or I keep it. Because you have much different taste in aesthetics and style than I have. You have much different past experience with competitor products or story than I have. Everyone has their individual story, and therefore also their different preferences when it comes to ads. If I keep this broad, then usually, and I don't mean broad only in targeting, but in taste, in aesthetics, in style, in communication, in tone, then also the algorithm has more data to work with and try to feed the algorithm and the user what the algorithm knows is best. And in the last month, a lot of people have surfaced talking about, oh, this is the Andromeda update and this is what's working. It was working since centuries. It's basic psychology and human understanding, and this will not change. Therefore, do not lead based on your own assumptions. Rather, be broad, be open, be explorative, be creative, and simply see what's working and what's not. And the third main insight is, if you understand, learn, and are actually able to apply the fundamentals, the basics, then all the hacks are not really necessary. What do I mean by this? I see oftentimes, especially when some updates happen, that, oh, this is the new hack, the new system, the new setup that will double your results, that will lead to a 5x ROAS, and so on. It's all marketing and attention, but it has not the impact that actually many people think. And I'm certain that you know this for yourself. If you run ads for yourself, you have for sure tried different campaign setups. You have tried different style of creatives. And everything works, but not for everyone. And therefore, you found your way that works for you. I found my way that works for me. But in general, it's quite clear that if you understand the fundamentals, the basics, especially around human psychology, about marketing, about different triggers, then it does not matter where you apply this. And a great ad that has a great offer, that is based on understanding of the audience and actually has relevance and quality. It does not really matter if you put this ad into a CBO campaign or an ABO campaign or maybe even an engagement campaign. It will work because the people who see it, they resonate with it. They are looking for something like this. They don't know which setup you're running, which kind of bidding type you're inserting in the ads. They see this ad because they think, oh, this is me, I have this problem, and here is the solution I was waiting for. So if you have an understanding about these fundamentals, then you do not need to chase the hacks. Sometimes they can give a little bit sparkle on the top, 5% maybe extra, but these are not the big steps that actually move the needle. So human understanding and marketing fundamentals are so important and are oftentimes so forgotten because they are not so flashy. And if you're not so focused on these flashy things, but on the simple fundamentals that actually work, then subscribe to this channel, because in the next days I will upload nearly daily and will share about the marketing fundamentals. I will share case studies. I will show ads. I will show ads managers. I will do my best in order to show to you how and what is working so that you can apply it for yourself in a simpler way, that you are becoming a simple advertiser, not an overwhelmed, a complex advertiser, but simple is what moves the needle. So I see you on the next one.